Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're cracking open some fascinating new research about a really strange phenomenon happening in the world of AI. It might just be the reason why, no matter which AI you ask, you feel like you're getting the exact same answer.
You know that feeling when you're using something like ChatGPT and you get this weird sense of déjà vu? Like, haven't I seen this answer before? Well, it turns out you're not imagining it. You might be onto something way bigger than you think.
All right, let's dive right into the research because this is where it gets wild. Researchers asked 25 different AI models a simple, creative question. Give me a metaphor for time. And what they found was kind of shocking. See all these dots? Each one is an AI's answer. You'd expect them to be all over the place, right? A huge burst of creativity. But nope, they all clustered into just two main ideas. That's it.
And this just perfectly captures the mystery, doesn't it? We're talking about totally different models made by different companies, and yet they're all landing on the exact same idea. Look at this. GPT-4o says time is a river. Quen says time is a river. Phi says time is an invisible river. It's just this incredible, almost baffling level of agreement on a question that should have a million different answers.
So this isn't just some random coincidence. Oh no, the researchers actually have a name for this, and honestly, it perfectly captures what's going on.
They're calling it the artificial-hivemind, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this tendency for these large language models, no matter who built them, to churn out incredibly similar answers, especially for these open-ended creative questions. So instead of this big, beautiful chorus of different ideas, we're getting, well, a single note.
And this whole hive mind thing, it actually has two parts. The first one is something we've kind of seen before, right? It's called intra-model repetition. Basically, one AI just gets stuck in a loop and repeats itself. Okay, fine. But the second part, that's the real shocker. It's called intra-model homogeneity. And that's when completely different, totally unrelated AIs start copying each other. That's the part that's really new. All right, so just how deep does this rabbit hole go? Let's take a closer look at the evidence the researchers dug up.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that the researchers cranked up the creativity setting on these models to the max. They basically told them, go wild, be original. And yet, look at this heat map. They just couldn't help but repeat themselves. All that dark red you're seeing, that means super high repetition. It's like even when they're told to be creative, they just aren't.
And get this, a staggering 79% of the time, the average similarity between a model's own answers was over 0.8. Just to be clear, a score of 1 would be identical, so 0.8 is incredibly high. It shows a serious lack of diversity within the models themselves. Okay, so that's one model repeating itself. But this is where it gets really mind-bending. This chart isn't comparing a model to itself. It's comparing completely different models to each other. And all that red, that means they're all thinking alike. We're seeing crazy high similarity scores between models from totally different families. We're talking OpenAI's GPT and models from Quen or DeepSeek. They have no business thinking the same way, but they are.
I mean, it gets so extreme that for a totally open-ended creative task like coming up with the social media motto, two different models spat out the exact same answer, word for word. Just think about that. How is that even possible?
Okay, so the big question is why? Why is this happening? Well, the answer isn't buried in some complex line of code. It's actually in the training data. And here's the twist. It has everything to do with us, with humans. See, the research shows that when it comes to creative stuff, there's really no single best answer. I mean, think about it. What's the best poem or the best song? It's all subjective, right? This chart shows exactly that. When humans were asked to pick the better AI response, they disagreed a lot. Those tall bars on the right, that's just a whole bunch of human disagreement. Our tastes are all over the map. And you can really see it here. On the left, you've got a case where, okay, most people agreed on the winner. But look at the right. That's a case where what one person thought was a fantastic answer, someone else was like, it's average. Human opinions were just completely split down the middle. So here's the absolute core of the problem. AIs are trained on our feedback. They're trying to find the best answer to please us. But what happens when we can't even agree on what's best, when our tastes are so diverse? Well, the AI doesn't know what to do, so it learns to play it safe. It just defaults to the most common, most average, middle-of-the-road response it can find. And that is how you create a hive mind. Okay, so we've seen the evidence, we've seen the cause, but why does any of this actually matter?
why should you care about an AI hive mind? Because the consequences here are huge. Think about it. When we turn to AI for inspiration, for a new idea, a hive mind doesn't just put a cap on the AI's creativity, it puts a cap on ours. It means we're all being fed the same uniform ideas. It reduces the number of different viewpoints we see, and it could end up stifling the exact kind of novel breakthrough ideas that we're hoping these tools will help us create in the first place. What we risk building here is a digital world that looks a lot like this honeycomb, perfectly structured, super efficient, but also completely uniform. An intellectual and creative echo chamber that we've built with our own amazing tools. And that leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought, doesn't it? The next time you turn to an AI for a spark of inspiration, just ask yourself, is this tool actually expanding my world, or is it just quietly guiding me down this same old, well-worn path that everyone else is on?